There's a specific kind of giving up that isn't laziness and isn't weakness. It's what happens when we try and try and try until some quiet part of us decides trying is no longer worth the pain of failing again. Even after the situation has already changed, even after the door is open, we do this more than we'd like to admit. We stay in the job we stop believing in. We stop fighting for the relationship. We assume the door is still locked, simply because it used to be. There's an old tale that captures this better than any explanation could, about a boy chained in a cell for 10 years, and the one detail about his chain that changes everything. In the lowest cell of a fortress called Valemore, there lived a boy named Corin, taken as a servant son and chained to the stone wall for a debt he never owed. The chain was short, just long enough to reach a bowl of water and a slit of gray light near the ceiling. In his first year, Corin pulled at that chain every single day. He threw his whole body against it until his wrist bled. It never gave. By his third year, he pulled less. By his fifth, he stopped pulling at all. The guards changed. The seasons changed. Corin remained exactly where the chain allowed him to remain, and nothing more. He told himself this was simply what his life was. Not a cage, just the shape of things. Years passed. The kingdom above him fell into war. One night, the fortress shook with fire and screaming, and by morning, silence. No guards came to check on him. No footsteps. No keys. Corin sat exactly where he always sat, waiting for a voice to tell him what to do, the way it always had. Days passed like this. He grew weaker, hungrier. Still, he did not pull at the chain. Then, one afternoon, an old woman, a healer searching the ruins for survivors, found her way down into the dark and saw him there, motionless against the wall. She knelt beside him and lifted the chain in her hands. It came apart like ash. "This has not been attached to anything," she said quietly, "for a very long time." Corin stared at the broken links in her palm. He did not move. He could not remember, in that moment, what moving toward the open door was even supposed to feel like. "Why didn't you leave?" she asked him. Corin's voice, when it finally came, was barely above a whisper. "I stopped checking. The chain was never really a chain. It was every time trying stopped working. We call this learned helplessness, and it isn't weakness. It's logic. If we tried enough times and failed enough times, some part of us made a completely reasonable decision. Stop spending hope on something that doesn't respond to hope. The trouble is we don't update easily once the situation actually changes. We don't run the experiment again just to check. We assume the chain is still attached because it always used to be. This is why we can stay in a job long after we've stopped believing it'll get better. Why we can stop fighting for a relationship we still love. Why we can carry an old rejection into a room full of people who were never the ones who hurt us. It isn't comfort keeping us there. It's a memory doing its job a little too well. So if there's a door in our life we've quietly assumed is still locked, maybe it's worth one more push. Not because we're certain it'll open, but because we may not have actually checked in a very long time. And that is the psychology beneath the tale.